Okay, we decided to go early. We're live now. How about that, Brian?
Yeah,
Chat,
it's PopPop just couldn't
Brian.
take Brian chatting in the chat without being able to respond more
Now we can
directly.
talk just to have it. We can have a one-on-one conversation with Brian because is there anyone else out there? Hello.
Hey,
Welcome to the
everybody.
third episode of the Reck and Pop-Up Show, episode 3 of our podcast. Hello, Reck.
Hey, PopPop.
How are you? I'm the
Good to
loud
be
one.
here.
He's the not loud one.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess you're the loud one.
Yes, I am.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so today we are going to do our normal everyday. Of course, Jen's here. Um, that has to go without saying. I asked Gims if she wanted to make an appearance, and she's like, "Hell no." No, fine.
Well,
Okay.
I'm at my mom's. You can see the change in scenery. I'm in St.
Yeah.
Louis, and I told her that if she wanted to come check on me, she would end up being on a live broadcast. So you may.
Mom is hiding, or is she going to stick her head in? And
No, I think she's hiding, but who knows? Yeah. Hey, BJ.
hello, Alicia
Welcome.
Davis.
Hey, Alicia.
Alicia, sorry, I'm horrible at names. I'm old.
No, you're good.
So we are going to talk books again. We're going to talk the genre again. We're going to answer your questions. Hi, BJ. We are we might answer Brian's questions. I don't know. We may or may not.
Brian always has good questions.
I know that. Hey, we have an author in the house. How about that? Lucent Steele,
Mm-hmm.
the author of the Ascension
Brian's an author too.
Framework. Book smug.
Yeah.
Nope. I finished book 1 of the Ascension Framework. The system. What is it? System Rises. System Arises.
The System Rises is
something or
is
other.
your first book. Yeah.
Which I loved, by the way.
Okay, so we're trying to be more orderly
organized
about this, which is not great because we're both little chaos goblins. But so the System Rises. Who's it by?
It is by Lucent Steele.
Lucient, right? So welcome, Lucient.
He's here. He popped in.
And it looks like, is it on Royal Road? Is it on?
This is legit paperback ebook. Of course, I have it in paperback because that's the way I go. This is a story of a philanthropist billionaire who wants to improve the entire world. And he does this over 20 or 30 years of establishing a myriad of corporations to create the components that he needs, but everything is compartmentalized. So nobody really knows what's happening. They all think they're doing the best things, but they just don't know how it's all going to come together. And so this book, the first book, brings together that system, and it does really good. It's a very positive book. Definitely, there are some components that are going to bring about conflict, which you have to have, but it is an extremely positive book. It is the way that Lucent did it. He did not overdo the development of all the characters, or didn't, he came in and, he identified who was going to be part of the team to bring about the system. And then he brought in the components of the system, which is, I don't want to do too much.
But well, real quick, we got Lucent in the chat. So my question is, was the billionaire based on, PopPop, do you think, and Lucent, feel free to chime in the chat, do you think the billionaire was based off of some billionaire that exists in real life in a loose way? Because there's not many billionaires that I'd hand over the architecture.
No, I mean, the closest that you'd be able to get to him would be Bill Gates. But I think more than anything, it might have almost been something like an Andrew Carnegie towards the end of his life. When he
more like
everything and he had money and he just wanted to get rid of it all, and he did the libraries and things like that. So I think it's someone at that level or that stage of
good answer. Totally fictional is what Lucent's saying in the chat.
but the
the
female,
question to the
but the
audience: is there
female.
any
I mean,
billionaire
because he's the
today, alive
author.
today, that you
He's
would
the
hand
author. What's the
over
female?
the architecture of the world to?
I'm not
Yeah.
looking. I'm doing the media side. You have to do
Yeah,
the
no, you're
comment.
good. You're good. It sounds like Lucian's saying that someone, that the character is someone I wish I could have been, but I'm not a billionaire. So I guess we just all need to go out by the system rises,
He
fix
is.
it.
He is an industrialist of some kind.
Mhm.
He is in the corporate world. I'll give you
Yeah,
that much of a hint.
yeah.
Um,
So what is for you, PopPop? What is one of the things that happened, like one of the pieces of architecture of the world that stood out for you the most as interesting or unique for the book?
in this one, I as the system is developing towards the latter half of the book, there's two things. There is an actual system that the MC team or the MCs can go into and improve themselves and do quests and create um, a town and create the crafts persons in the town. And it is essential for the virtual side of the world to improve and get created in order to have the technology in the real world function and advance. Because in the real world, the characters actually have to go and create the weapons and the tools that they receive as their classes. So they got stuck at one point and they actually had to go and resolve that with some quests in the virtual world. So I like that. Not It's not a dichotomy, but I like that relationship where
Hmm.
impact in the virtual world has an immediate impact in the real world.
Hmm.
Okay. And um, again, towards the end, and I haven't read book 2 yet, but the end of the book brings about an internal enemy or a planetary enemy and a galactic enemy or galactic adversary potentially. So
Yeah.
he sets it up
So you
perfectly
get
for
the
book 2.
stakes get upped
It
and
is. It is
yeah.
going up. It is. But it
Because
is a very positive.
re-architecture of the world isn't big enough stakes for us. We need a galactic,
I
you
can't
know.
wait to see what happens because it's not even started yet. It hasn't even been rolled out
Mhm.
to the rest of the world. So I'm sure it's going to be loads of fun when I get into book 2. No spoilers
Mhm.
at all.
It's funny. I think that's something that lit RPG authors get challenged with quite a bit. When I was writing Stumbling Up, it started off small, and one of my friends was like, "Well, what are the big world-ending stakes?" And I was like, "What? I have to have those?"
Yeah, you
Yeah, well,
do.
like we do, right? If it's not world-ending, it's galactic or multiverse ending. Yeah. So
So now, what do you want to discuss out of
yeah,
your
so
story?
I wanna discuss A Fistful of Credits first, by Craig
This
Hamilton.
full of credits is that one right here.
Yeah. So I
That,
interviewed Craig a week or so ago on my podcast on Chat and Stats, and I read The Rift Warden for that. And we got in this whole discussion where Richie was talking about, oh, he's got the, Tao Wong System Apocalypse, Relentless series. And so I picked it up after that conversation, and this was the first one, and it's definitely not what I normally read. I'm normally not a apocalypse reader. That's PopPop's gig. But this one was interesting. The main character is like a private. He's like a bail bond chase. I don't know what they are. Mm, he is a private eye slash bounty
bail
hunter. Is
bond,
what he
bounty
is.
hunter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bail bound bounty hunter. Before the apocalypse, and then when it happens, he becomes like a hunter, and he can pick up bounties on other people or other races. There's a bunch of different races involved. If you're aware
Oh
of
yeah,
the system
Tao's
apocalypse, yeah,
universe is
hmm
has tons of
got a
tons of
lot.
races involved, invading the Earth,
Yeah, yeah,
resettling on the Earth.
yep. And so it's got this more of this. kind of grim, darky sort of feeling to it. Although the main character, you know, he has these bounties, and you're kind of like, ooh, is he really going to take this bounty on this other human for not showing up to work? And then he goes off and he like saves a bunch of kids, and you're like, yay, you know, like you kind of go back and forth about like, how much do you like this guy? Which is it's fun. I enjoyed it. It's well written, and
so is this the one? Is this one set in Pittsburgh, or is that another one? There's so
it
many different
is.
side jobs.
I'm trying to remember if it's Pittsburgh or if it's Philly.
Because we've
Pittsburgh.
had
It's in Pittsburgh. Yeah, Pittsburgh. Those are in my head. Those are the yep. So it's in Pittsburgh.
Just in case we have people out there who are not familiar with the System Apocalypse, Tao Wong created the main line of the series, and that has 12 books in it. I've read one because I've always read one, you know, but I did like that.
We're both kind of the masters of book one.
What masters of one? Kind of like, you know, ultimate level one. Me, ultimate reader one. So he has 12 books in the main series, and it does progress from Earth to the universe. You know, so it becomes a galactic type thing. Just you can tell that from the covers.
And ironically, I have not read Tao Wong's original book, although I've read Jason's.
Yes, you have.
Craig's.
Well, the difference there is I'm maybe 20% of the way into Jason's book. Jason's book is 704 pages.
It's a chunk.
I'm like about page 150. And Jason's book is several years after the introduction of the system. So that was a little bit interesting for me to get a hold of or to read when I'm one book in. And there's a lot of conflict.
Yeah, so Jason's is head of class, and it's pretty good. It's got like a multiple point of view kind of head hopping perspective to it, which Fistful of Credits is a singular perspective. It's straight through, so it's a lot more focused on that one character.
And we still have to figure out what Town Under is all about. I think Katie Hanna's version is a parental type situation. It's a family oriented,
and that one's more in Australia, right?
Yeah, well, more it is Australia.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
So that one we'd have to get into as well.
I think
there's cool. A lot to do with System Apocalypse.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, we've seen this a couple times, like the Viridian Gate. We've seen now with Tao. We've seen where an author opens up their world for other authors to write in, and it's kind of a cool way for people to get their start in lit RPG and get their feet wet as authors. And it makes the world richer.
It does, and you know, he controlled it. He controlled the process. You know, he says, "Yeah, come on and write for me," because they had the anthology.
They do the anthologies, and there's an anthology I think that just came out this last week.
And guess what?
Yeah,
I just paid shipping. I just paid my shipping.
Did you buy? Yeah, okay. You'll have to report back on the anthology. Yeah.
So I've got space back there for it.
So if you want to write in the System Apocalypse universe, submit stories to those anthologies. That seems to be the way that Tao.
Keep an eye out for Tao, and I mean he's very good. He's very active on his website and on his postings. So
we'll have to read one of his books here at some point next.
I've already done it.
Yeah, well, you should report.
I've got to get back to book 2. So is it my turn again?
Well, Iron Eyes is saying that it kind of reminds me of what Black Library does with the Warhammer universe, and I would agree. Yeah, I mean we've seen it in like mainstream science fiction and fantasy, and we've got a few people doing it in lit RPG that they've kind of got their stuff figured out. Like even Dakota did it a bit with his his like Dungeonborn universe, and some of the other books that were kind of written in that same universe.
Well, fortunately, I ignored Warhammer for 20 years before.
You're not going to get into Warhammer at this point.
So I ignored Gamelit successfully from the 1980s through 2024. So.
Yeah, it's got this clause in you. All right, let's talk about your next book, PopPop. What are you going to talk about next?
Boom! How I became the world's strongest warrior by using basic attacks, volume 2.
Volume 2, a book 2. So you don't just read book 1.
No, I can proceed. I've read series. I have read series. I read Rise of Mankind. I've read Shadow Sun. I read series. I do. So, and there is a book. There is a volume 3 out there. So I
Is there
have
a
that in
volume
my
3?
library as well.
So this book is a chunk too, right? It's pretty thick, isn't it?
It is 800 and some pages. It was 800 and some pages long.
Yeah.
And I was able to churn through it. I was able to get through it. This is an isekai. He and it starts with he ends himself because he had stage 4 cancer. Found out somehow, didn't realize he had it, and all of a sudden he realized he had it. Had a couple weeks left to go, and then he went into this world. And it is a system-based world that gets a lot of isekai, well, not a lot, but isekai people into it, so they know who they are. They maintain their identity. You know, a lot of their images, you know, a lot of their memories disappear, but they know that they don't originate in the world, and the inhabitants of the world know it. So it's not a secret, like where, you know, there are some where
you're not hiding out as the only Earther, and
So
yeah.
So in this book, the main character, Chuck Taylor, and yes, he was a shoe designer or a sneaker designer, and he's always was tired, you know, just not happy with his parents for naming him after Chuck Taylor.
I was going to say Chuck Taylor.
You know, ended up as a shoe designer or sneaker designer. So he just basically decided to be very rigid in his progress through the system. He spent months and months and months and months using a wooden sword to hit a dummy. And because of that, his basic attack became outrageously powerful.
Gotcha.
And so through the first book, he increased his skill set and everything, and got through to killing increasingly more difficult creatures. In this book, it explores more of the friendship factor, which is really difficult for Chuck, because
sounds like he's a spreadsheet guy. He's very analytical.
Yes, he's very, very analytical.
Yeah.
And yes, we talked about this, people. I have to be very careful with the words I'm using here because I was lectured, wasn't I? And so
sometimes you got to rein in the boomer.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. I say words. So he moves beyond the basic attacks and just, what can I do by hitting and destroying these things? Because he now has, you know, a furry type enchanter that creates his weapons. He's got a
I mean, on the cover, it looks like he's moved beyond basic weapondry. Like maybe he's still using basic attacks, but yeah.
He's got an elemental. He's got dual wielding now. He has, you know, an amazing elemental sword. He has been forced to use secondary weapons as well, because the enchanter of the weapons is not very timely in getting the enchantment done. In addition, the biggest thing is that one of his friends, who he didn't know was his friend, got killed by a Titan up in the northern region, so he had to go and kill that guy. And then the whole purpose of the book is to resurrect D'Artagnan. And yes, D'Artagnan is a musketeer type isekai person. So he has to ascend a tower. So it is
a tower climber.
Tower. It's a tower climber.
Is the first one a tower climber, or just
no?
This one?
No, it's just a graded ascension. You know, going up from one difficulty level to another of various mobs.
Yeah.
But there are also
I like that. You know, we have whole series that are all dedicated to tower climbing, and it's kind of fun that, like, this is just a mechanic in the world, not the mechanic.
But there are also several times where when he has to not do the tower because he has to go get more comps for whatever he needs for his armor or for
Yeah.
his weapons. Um, so it's a combo of um, the tower climb and other quests, Dragon Quest, Drake quests.
Hmm.
Lucifer makes an appearance, so you've got this demonic, and it is Lucifer, in our mythology.
Was he isekai there, or is this his original world?
He is just he's an ascendant being.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's
So
he's he,
we had a few new joiners. We got TJ, Wilkie, Doug, welcome. TJ says, I was so honored that they used my likeness for the crab. It's basically the face I make when I'm microwaving my lunch.
and remember, I am not to
Sarah.
comment,
Yeah.
so Reck
Keep the
has to do
comments
the
coming
comment.
though. I'll share them. I
Yeah,
just had to
please,
I had to
because
pop in with that comment.
I'm doing the medias. So
Mm,
yeah, 800 pages. And I will warn everybody, there is spice in this. And it went, oh shit, what's that? So it was, I got sideswiped with
so
it.
this is a men's adventure, is what you're
But
saying.
it is organic to the story. I love saying that. I love saying organic to the story because it's how Chuck grows.
Hmm.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
all I'm going to say because I could just go on and on and on. There's a whole
Yeah.
bunch of stuff with this book. And if you would look at the comments on
Yeah.
Amazon, they're like, oh, people, get real. Get
Yeah.
over yourselves.
Yeah.
It's 1 to 2% of the book.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the thing. Like, lit RPG doesn't have it's either like no spice or all spice, right?
I don't like allspice. I like to use
It's
pepper.
either no spice or all spice. So I think the books that have just like some spice get a bad rap, but it's like, come on,
But yeah, I
it's
mean,
not all spice. It's not,
no, it's just, it's a couple, 20 pages,
hmm
and yeah,
hmm
it's
just hit next on your audio or flip
yeah,
on
or
your
yeah,
physical or,
seriously, or
yeah,
say, okay, here, I can go to this page. I see stats. Go to the next stat level, and then you're okay. But I think it was a valid part of the story. I
yeah,
do. So
yeah.
um, that's
Yeah,
that's
I mean, TJ, you're an author. You can totally write about Icy Hot if you want. Doug saying that this is much more fun than listening to his family drama. So, welcome everybody for joining us.
so. Are we gonna go to our next book?
Yeah, let's go to the next book. What is the next book?
It's up to you.
Oh, I get to say. Okay, so my next book is gonna be Mage Light. So,
See how coordinated I am today?
yeah,
This is
we
a little bit
can't see our
bigger,
faces
so
though. We might
yeah, this we have to move over this way.
like
Hi.
lean. Yeah, I don't. It's, let us know how you like the graphics.
The audible is a little bit bigger.
Yeah, we need to do the other cover. Yeah. So
So
why don't
I
you
don't I
just?
don't think there was one.
That's okay. Do you want to like remove the graphic? I think
Yeah, you,
everybody
you
knows.
already said
Yeah.
we're talking
Yeah.
about Casey
So
Azel's new
I'm
book.
talking to Casey Azell tomorrow on Chat and Stats. So if you are a fan of Casey, and somebody brought up Casey, somebody brought up John Stovall as having a multiverse sort of experience with authors, and Casey writes in that. So if you like Casey, if you're a fan of Casey, join me tomorrow on Chat and Stats because we're talking about Mage Light. Um, this one is it's actually not a lit RPG. It is a fantasy magic book with like light harem. There's not a ton of spice. There's really
You're
not
the
a
one
ton of
that brought
spice
it
in it.
up.
Yeah, there's not a ton of spice in it, but it's got like a mage who is really underpowered, and she bonds with these three kind of brothers. They're not brothers, but they kind of adopt each other as brothers. And it's like
Can we call it
they
Polly?
they don't really have a romantic relationship, at least
Okay.
yet. I don't know if there's going to be a book two. That's one of the things we're going to talk about tomorrow. But there's no real romantic relationship, but the magic is a little sexy, and so they feed her power, and then she becomes this utter badass. But I liked it because it's this journey for her of being this kind of underdog her whole life, and then she comes into this power and has to rewrite her own narrative about what she's told herself she is her whole life, because she's had theoretically friends and teachers and parents and stuff that have told her that she's kind of a weakling. And it turns out she really isn't. And it's a fun book. I'm really excited to talk to Casey about it tomorrow. I think, with our book list, it doesn't all have to be lit RPG all the time. This is a nice progression from like this character levels up kind of her um how she thinks about herself and moves in the world and her power,
I've
definitely.
read lots of, and I've read lots of books
Hmm.
that aren't
Yeah.
lit.
Yeah.
I can always bring them up. I'll probably bring them up. Oh, by the way, PopPop's on TikTok. Oh my God. Let me tell you this story. We're going to do this real quick. So I decided, I don't even remember how someone said you should do TikTok. So I did it. And I have to go back and look for the original. So I went and I created a TikTok account and they said, what's your nickname? Pop Pop.
PopPop. I don't know how
And
PopPop
it
is real.
showed up. It was there. For how many years has TikTok been around? No one has had ever chosen Pop Pop as a name. Like it was waiting for me. It was density, kind of like Spock being from or Darth Vader from Vulcan or whatever they did in Back to the
Hmm.
Future. But it was my density to go on to TikTok as Pop Pop.
Destiny. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
So go
here I
follow
am.
PopPop on
Follow
TikTok.
me.
I also have a TikTok account. You're welcome to follow me. I haven't posted much content yet,
He hasn't. I've
but
done more
it's
than him.
it's coming. It's coming. I know. The
Whatever.
content's coming. Um,
Am I up
okay.
now?
Yeah, yeah. Just remember, if you want to know more about Mage Light, join me tomorrow night, 8
On
p.m.
Chat and
Eastern
Stats.
on Chat and Stats, and I will be talking to Casey. We've got a bunch of questions lined up, so I just don't want to give too much of it away. But it's a
No,
fun
you
book.
don't.
Yeah.
So my next one is going to be the last talk about hard reset before I go to a hard landing.
Hmm.
Um, I did finish this one about a couple weeks ago. It is a system apocalypse set in Texas.
Hmm.
14-year-old Caden or 15-year-old Caden um, is confronted with a very difficult. This is a very difficult apocalypse. Not like
So
even more difficult.
the hard reset in the title is true to the
It's a
type of
good
world.
clue. I mean,
Hmm.
everything is expensive. The mobs are not easy. Um, the creation of the town is difficult. Everything is just tough, and unlike a lot of, if we go to System Apocalypse, everything stays the same. The system comes in, everything is there. People come and buy land. They can exist. All the aliens can come down and exist. Here, the system it degrades everything that it has not been systemized.
Hmm.
So you have to have gathered whatever you could from the pre-existent town or villages or neighborhoods and turn them into systemized wood, systemized brick, systemized this, that, and the other thing, or it just gets, turned into dungeons, turned into mob houses. It's tough. And it's his first lit RPG series. Um, Not his first series. He wrote a alternate history with another Texas base. He is from Texas, where someone went back into the Texas War of Independence and changed history completely, and it would be a Texas wank. But when I saw this, I was like, "Oh my God, Drew McGunn!" And it's a good book. I mean, it is relatively long, 600 pages or so. Um, it's good. It's a good entry to lit RPG for this author.
Yeah.
I was happy to read it.
Yeah, yeah. First of all, I think there's something that like all the books that you've read are chunks. You like chunky books, I guess. Um, Second thing, I think we see this every once in a while where a non-lit RPG author is making their way into lit RPG. When you said it's a good first lit RPG for them, what makes it a good first lit RPG for them? because we've all read bad entries to Lit RPG from,
Yeah, this is
you know.
this is true.
Mhm.
Because of the consequences, and because the consequences of the actions, people die. People don't make it through a dungeon. You have
And real
to.
quick, can you lean in the other direction because we can't see your face? And
What do you mean you can't see my face? Well, you know
yeah,
what?
the book
Screw
is
this
taking up
then.
space. Yeah, there
Goodbye.
we go. There we go. Victory.
Happy. So everything has a consequence in this book. It's just not things being handed over to them.
Mhm.
Even the creation of potions it's just very difficult to get to the point where you find a farmer to do systemized food production, to find the alchemist or the herbalist to do the systemized potions.
Mhm.
It's just
The
hard
struggle is real.
to do. It
You're
is.
not going to
It is.
be.
And
Does
that's
the
what I
character
really like about it.
does the character get to like an overpowered status, or is
No,
it okay? Like
no,
it's going to be a grind.
it is a grind.
Mhm.
Even after the first book takes about 30 days
Mhm.
post system
Okay.
introduction. So no, it is not. It is not overpowered. It is not an ultimate level one. It is not a I'm not the hero, where they become
Yeah.
pretty advanced relative, within the first
Yeah.
volume. So no, he is struggling.
And that's
And his
good to
friend.
know. I mean, that's good to know. Like, we've got so many overpowered main characters for a reason. It's a trope in lit
It
RPG
is.
that people love. But at the same time, how many of you, raise your hand are like, man, if I read another overpowered character, I'm just gonna like,
I mean, I
you
don't
know.
mind them. I
hmm
mean, if
I need a
you're
palate,
going to
like I
go,
need a palate cleanser. Like if I read 3 books in a row with overpowered main characters, I'm like, ugh,
yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
speaking of which, and I'm this will be for the future. You did mention, first entries into lit RPGs. There's one right there. Look, I'm reading
Bring it a
it.
little bit, bring it a little, there we go. Yes.
So, salvage system by um,
Nicholas Smith.
Nicholas Sansbury Smith. He is the author of Hell
Mm,
Divers. So he's a very accomplished military sci-fi author,
hmm
and this is his first
Yeah.
lit RPG book. Um, I snag all this kind of stuff one because it's post-apocalyptic, but it is different enough, and I'll go over that. But again, a fun, solid entry
Yeah.
to lit RPG for an established author. So
Yeah.
I'll go over that in the future. I'm only
So,
halfway, a little bit more than halfway over.
so we've got a couple comments here. Apparently TJ and I need to talk about golems. And Wilkie is asking
Oh,
if you
here,
know
I
that.
want to know, is it golems or golems?
Oh yeah, that is a good question. Who's
That is,
pronouncing
I
it?
say golems.
And I say golems.
What is
Let
it,
us know,
TJ?
TJ. You're the expert.
Hardo or softo?
Yeah.
He's the pro.
Golems. So you're golems is what he's saying.
I'm correct, in other
You're
words.
correct. All
Yeah,
right.
I know.
Golems. All right. I guess if I'm gonna beat up a golem, I need to pronounce it correct. Thanks, TJ. Wilkie is asking if we've checked out John Cressman's A Country Western Singer in King Arthur's Court.
I have not. I've seen it, so that means I probably will now. And the thing about John is he has two different careers. He's got his lit RPG types, but then he has an
Most authors
entire
have 2 different
mystery
careers.
type of set of books too, under a
Mm-hmm.
different name. Kind of like, other people who write books under different names, not naming anyone here in this room.
Mm,
Um, but he has two totally different careers as well.
yeah.
So, no, I do want to check that one out. Of course, I want to check them all out.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
what
I
pop.
haven't read that one either, although I am kind of a King Arthur file, so I'll have to not really a country western music fan, but I
No,
have to go
yeah,
check. I mean,
you know,
hey, it's the mashup we need.
you want to hear
Um,
you want to hear my boomer comment? Am I allowed to make a boomer comment?
sure,
The
go
only
for it.
good country singer is a dead country singer.
PopPop.
So that means Johnny Cash,
You're getting banned.
Hank Williams. You can't ban me from my own place.
Oh,
Hank
all right.
Williams
All right.
Sr.,
Yeah.
Johnny Cash. That's what I mean by it.
That it was a good boomer dad joke.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. So,
Yeah. All right.
you heard comments down there? Who did we lose? We lost somebody.
Brian, maybe Brian. He's like, wow. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
you are up.
All right. I'm up. I think we're
I
down
know
to
what it
my
is.
last book.
Oh,
Um.
so you think.
Yeah. Discount Dan. I joined the
Discount
cult of
Dan.
Dan. Read Discount Dan. What's funny is I even started cul-de-sac.
Cul-de-sac Carnage.
Carnage. Yeah, I started that one too because my Audible just started playing the next book and I just went with it.
Yep, you just
Um,
least resistance, the path of
mhm,
least resistance, keep
mhm,
going.
mhm. Yeah, so I mean, I listened to Discount Dan. I see why people can like have this thing about, oh, it's kind of like Dungeon Crawler Carl because it's got the same sort of main character energy, I would say, and some of that nostalgic stuff of the
The
like
90s,
the 90s and the carnival, games, and
the
it actually
pub.
reminded me of the Dungeon Crawler Carl book that's like about the circus. It's kind of got that same sort of like
Yeah,
weird
yeah.
nostalgic stuff, but definitely Croc is the runaway, like the voice of Croc on the audio is like chef's kiss. Just love
I
it.
haven't listened, so I mean, I
You
probably
got to listen
eventually
because Croc
would.
is just, yeah, Croc's
So,
great.
I mean,
Um,
Croc is great in my head,
hmm
you
That's fair.
know, as I
That's
read it.
fair.
So
I was driving a lot this last week, so I needed to do the audio. But yeah, I mean, it's it's good. It is not Dungeon Crawler Carl though,
it's
and
not.
that's good. We don't want to do that
Nope.
replication. It's just it's got its own story, its own system. Um, Dan
Backstory is totally
has
different. So I
Dan
mean,
Dan's got like yeah, Dan's got like he's like the utility player, right? Which I love stories about utility players because you have to be a little bit more creative about it.
well,
Um,
and the thing too is that I mean, he immediately sets up the conflict within the first 5 pages when he sees the battle between the two, mega giant backrooms
yeah,
characters.
yep,
He manages to get something from the evil demon from the
hmm
999th floor. So he does it, and Dan doesn't want to sit around waiting. He wants to be the master of his own destiny, so
hmm
to speak. And that's what this is. And that's why he keeps building. And I mean, he
yeah.
could find a place, he could create his little
Okay, get
store and
rid of the
stuff.
graphic because we can't see you again.
Why not? You want to see me?
I know.
Oh, so nice of you.
There we go.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I actually
totally
the
different.
beginning was fun because the first, and we're just going to give away the first chapter. It's this face off between these two kind of godly, like,
Yep.
end game dungeon crawler folks. And I had all these like leaps in my head of like, oh, is this like future him fighting in front of like past him, or like like all these little things. I was like,
No, it's not.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know. It was fun. I actually, like I said, I like Audible started auto playing book two, and I am liking book two, Cul-de-sac Carnage, even better. I think
Oh, it
that
is. It is. It
it's
improves. It's
slow.
even
The story slows down a little bit in a way that I can get to enjoy it instead of thing after thing after thing after thing.
better.
It slows down and it's like, ooh, okay, you're starting to get into the characters a little bit more and some of the more
Wait till you get. Did you
motivations and
finish? You
stuff.
haven't finished it yet.
No, I haven't
Wait
finished
to
it
get
yet.
to the Keiju scene. There's a
The
big old Keiju battle.
kaiju, yeah. I think this pronunciation I've got on you. So
Kaiju. I pronounce
there's a bunch of comments. So Wilkie is asking how I like the references to Twilight, and I will say, Wilkie, I have read all of Twilight because I used to live in Port Angeles, and it was a prereq. And yeah, Croc does it well. The question is, how much of Twilight has James Hunter read? Um,
probably not at all.
I don't
We'll have
know.
to ask him. We'll have to ask him in July.
Dan insists he's only read book one, so I don't know if he's seen the movies maybe.
I've seen the movies, but I could not. Isn't Twilight the one with the sparkly vampires?
Yep, the
Yeah,
diamond
whatever.
encrusted
That was
vampire. Yeah.
no.
Yeah. Iron Eyes is saying that there's only one DCC. We need more of them. And I would agree. I mean, I think, you know, um, this is its own creature, right? But obviously there's a market, right? DCC, I think, is going to be its own sort of subgenre of whatever
It's
too.
its own thing, but you can also have there are other ones out there as well too. I'll find them for us too. I'll go through my shelves and find the references to it. You can count on PopPop to find everything
Yeah.
eventually.
My
And
yeah, yeah. BJ's asking, it's saying that there's a lot of Twilight references as well, and I want to know why Twilight. It seems like a weird choice to be focused on
you know what?
for
But here, look at it this way: who truly understands the mind of a mimic?
James Hunter.
Obviously, James A.
Yeah,
Hunter does.
yeah,
So, but how can we second guess the mind of a mimic? And
yeah.
it does go back in time, not to the 90s necessarily, but maybe Croc isn't super
I
duper old.
that's fair, but I think the question I have is the book is very 90s nostalgic. Like it's talking about
It started that. It
hogs and
started
it's
definitely started that way. It
very
might be
right, but like
beyond.
Twilight was like 2000s. Like I think the first somebody looked this up. I think Twilight was like it was after I think it was like mid 2000, mid aughts, right? So it just
Probably.
seems like
Yeah.
from a time frame perspective, why not
Well,
think
no, it's
about
not necessarily true because Dan's older. Dan's older. Dan is from the 90s, so I think that's why the
how
pods
does
work and the arcade
yeah,
works.
yeah.
But Croc is younger because maybe mimics don't have the same lifespan,
hmm
so it only goes
Is
back
that
so
some
far.
pre-shadowing there for
So
me?
yeah.
Pop pop.
So and just so everyone knows, there have been some comments floating around. He's getting really close to publishing this. This is book 3.
That could be
Um,
dangerous with a Mickey Mouse in the cover.
yeah, I know, right? But I think it's
Like,
it's
man.
modified enough. It's modified enough to get
Uh-huh.
past trademark and all that
hmm
copyright trademark. So he did have a July 1st date, but that's where the authors are now putting really far out dates for their Amazon
Yeah, and
releases.
they just can bring it
Can't
in.
extend them; you can only shorten them. So I think it's getting closer to coming out. And I can't wait for book 3. Truthfully,
Yeah.
so that
Doug is
is
laughing at us because he's got a pre-Dragon Con edition of Discount Dan, and he thinks we're all
whatever.
Peeblins.
You want me to go and get my one of 5 in existent books of Will of the Immortals, book 1, Steel Foundations? Yeah, that'll beat that little
Yeah.
Dragon Con book.
Yeah.
I
Looks like
got
TJ's been to
W
Forks.
Dub.
We're still talking about Twilight in the chat. Forks, I've been to Forks a bunch, TJ. There back in the 2000s, the only thing that you could get for food kind of easily was like a Subway at a gas station, and that Subway way too many times.
Ew.
More sparkly vampires.
Sparkly vampires. Yeah.
Okay, so TJ's solving the mystery. He's like, Twilight is all James had to read when he was deployed, and he enjoyed it, so he used it as the book to
There
incorporate.
you
So
go.
thanks for solving that mystery.
Thank you, TJ.
I appreciate that. Yeah, yeah.
We'll keep you
Um,
around.
I had to read it because like I said, I lived out there, and everybody would ask me about Twilight and the vampires, and you had to read it because, yeah.
I think I went to one of the movies because Gim's and one of
hmm
my daughters. I mean, it was just me like sitting through Harry Potter movies as well. Even
Yeah.
worse, sitting through a Spice Girls movie, which was God, jeez,
hmm
that was horrible.
Wilkie is saying that the July date on book 3 freaked him out because he was hoping for
It's
something
not. It's
sooner.
not
And
happening.
yeah,
It's
I
going
think
to
it's
be
going to be
quicker.
brought
It's
in.
soon. It's going to be sooner than that. Don't worry. Don't worry. Be happy. We'll all
Yeah.
be good. So we've talked about all our books.
That's
We
crazy,
were
right?
organized.
What's going on? And we had a few squirrel moments, but not. We did good job. I
You
think
know
we're
what?
good
Hey,
boys.
I'm trainable.
Yeah,
I can be
yeah,
Pavlovian. So
yeah. All right, so let's just talk a little bit. We got about 15 minutes. I mean, we can always end early too, but I think we've got some lists for our next reading. So if you're reading along with us and you want to pick up a book, you can read with us.
I'm going to go with Rex first because
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
fair that way. I think this is his. Yep.
Yep, that looks like me.
Well, that's a big
Um,
ass thing. That's going to cover everybody up.
It is. It is. All right.
So
So I'm going to
do it
lean
real
over so
quick.
you can see my face. So I'm reading TJ Reynolds' The Shattered Sword. I'm interviewing Rose in December. That date's coming up. I am almost through all of the books I picked up at Lit RPG Con and Dragon Con. The Dark Lord of Crafting is maybe my last one. So between that one and The Shattered Sword, I should have read all the books that
We're
I bought.
really heavily into these Shadow Alley Press books, by the way.
Right now, yeah, I guess so. Yeah. And then my Royal Road pick is Doomed and Damned by the Busy Bard. Busy Bard was one of my table mates at the gaming part
Oh,
of Lit RPG Con, and we met and had a lot of fun. He's a blast. I'm going to interview him in December as well. I'm working on book 2 of Stumbling Up, and we're finalizing the new cover by Morpheus right now. So I should have new graphics for the cover and
how did you do that? How did you snag Morpheus away from the author
I
Jay
know, right?
Krause?
I snagged him. We've got this adorable cover with Richard front and center, and we've just been playing around with fonts and stuff to get the right fonts for the series and everything. So that's coming out here. The graphic is coming out here soon. Richie's still working on the audio. I think he's through chapter 30, and it's going through the processing and stuff, and Jessica's working on it too. So yeah, so I've got to write. And then I always have a nonfiction book that I'm playing around with. I've got The Happy Writer. So far, I'm about halfway through it. And if you are an author, I would recommend it. It's got a very comprehensive how to stay happy as a writer stuff. And some of it, it's yeah, okay, I've heard that before. But a lot of it is just new stuff or it's very comprehensive. The lady who wrote it ran a writing podcast for a few years during COVID and has picked up tips and tricks from all these authors that she interviewed, and it's pretty good. She's kind of distilled down to the best advice that people gave her. So yeah, so those are my
Always keep
picks.
learning.
Hmm. Yeah. Yes,
So
that
now,
is the goal. When I you got to improve your craft, you got to improve your all of it, right? So a lot of my nonfiction picks are writing stuff.
there you go. Now we're going to go to mine.
Mm-hmm.
And all mine are about reading stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, I
You're
have
gonna have
some of
to
them too because
you're
I
gonna have
have.
to lean over. You have to lean over so people can see your face.
How's
Hey
this?
Gary, thanks for joining.
Hey, Gary.
Let me
All right.
just read through the comments here real quick. I'm surprised PopUp hasn't read Doom System Survivor yet from Wilkie. Doom System
I've
Survivor. I guess you
probably
got to put that
seen
on
it,
your
but I don't
TBR.
have it, so I'll have to. I guess that's my. What would you recommend to pop
Mm-hmm.
up to read next?
Okay.
Doom System Survivor.
Yeah. BJ saying that Morpheus also Enrique, that's his real name, right? Works so fast. That's why I can use him, and I would agree. He works very fast. He's actually done chapter art for all of my book as well as working
Oh
on
wow.
Jay's and stuff. So yeah, there's gonna be Enrique art all over my stuff. Wilkie says he's about to start Brigands and Bread Knives.
Yeah, we have that here. Yeah,
Yeah,
Gims has to read book 2 yet.
yeah, and the book Doom System Survivors by Harmon Cooper. So yeah,
Oh, I have book 1. I've started to read it. Yeah,
okay,
that's
there you
one in
go.
New York too. That's another apocalypse in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you know what my TBR is? Let me know in the comments if you're going to read along or read for any one of those. But PopUp, what is your TBR look like right now?
Okay, so I'm
Lean
trying
the
to go
other
back
way.
to.
We can't see
I'm,
you.
which way? This way?
That way. But now you're off
I
camera.
can't see me. Oh well, I
A
guess it
little bit
doesn't
more.
matter.
A little bit more
So
in.
So
There you go, right there. Ha, there's the sweet spot.
stumbling up, I have to finish. Rec was so nice and sent me a PDF, so I don't have to worry about Royal Roads or EPUBs or anything like that. Um, Rise of the Monster, I am 20 or 30 pages, 20 or 30% into it. That is a skeleton, and a necromancer. So that's my first foray into that area. Salvage System by Nicholas Sansbury Smith. I am well over 50% of the way through. I'm hoping to finish that in the next day or two. It's a good solid book. I'm enjoying it. Good characters, nice battle, nice system, interesting system. Overdue library system reset, that I'm about 10% into it. And
that's
Casey Hennett
the
is just,
first one, right?
that is the first one,
Yeah.
Overdue. So that's where I'm on with that. Build, Fight, and Survive is another road one. That is by Fiddle Fid. That goes back to me liking him back to the days of the bot versus human pop-up controversy at the con. It is science fiction-y. So
Nice.
you have a person who does not belong on this alien planet. He's trying to chase after his girlfriend and screwed everything up. Now that he's crash landed onto this planet, he has to try to survive on not a friendly planet, and the AI is extremely snarky, and it is a transactional based AI for the corporation that owned the ship.
Mm.
So it is a very interesting and unique AI structure. There's a lot of conflict between the MC and this AI. So I have to get back and finish that up as well. That's what I'm doing. And also Pure Mage Build, I'm about 10% into Hunter's book. One thing I can tell you in my brain, Larry,
get rid of the graphics so we can go back to talking.
The character is the main character is Hunter. He's channeling Hunters into the MC.
He's got some self-insert
because
in there.
I could everything I do it as Hunter. So that's really, I could see it. So I can't wait to keep going back into that. So I'll probably have to figure out what book I'm going to hit heavily again after I finish Salvage System, because that'll be probably in the next day or two. Do I have time to do this?
You do,
because you know what I'm going to do. Legion Publishing came out with a new book. It's not released yet. It's coming out on November 25th. But Jez and Geneva and Ryan did a pre-release.
Yeah, they had that breaking news
a week or 10 days ago or so. I know that Boslow got his copy. He bragged too after I bragged. So, boom.
Look at that.
It is
of Ascension.
The series is called New System. Who dis? I don't know how to say the who dis, but there is a question mark after.
Too boomery for you.
It's kind of he is younger than me. I don't know. I don't understand all these different generations. This will be my first Ryan DeBuren book.
His books are good. Yeah.
So
I read one. I can't remember what I read, but I read one leading up to Lit RPG Con, and it was good. Gary says, "Oh, PopPop." Did you say who this?
Who this?
We got a couple of people making some comments. So Wilkie is saying he's really looking forward to One Flew Over the Dragon's Nest 2. And a bunch of people piped up that they're looking forward to that coming out. And if you haven't caught PopPop on his TikTok, it had like the latest releases for the week or whatever. So he's posting those graphics and stuff on TikTok. So if you haven't followed him, go ahead and follow at PopPop.
And if there are, we have to get authors to let me know too. I have a couple different sources that I'm using. When I get an Athon email, I get the monthly email, weekly email, same thing with Podium. But there are two main sources. One is a Reddit listing, and also Don Chapman, of course, over
Yeah.
on the Lit RPG books.
Yeah. So if you're an author though, and you've got a book coming out, just let us know and we'll help.
I missed a few.
We'll add it. TJ's said A Clockwork Ogre is going to be epic.
December 2nd.
Yep. And Doug is reading or has read Pure Mage Build and thought it was fun. BJ is looking like they're going to pick it up. Gary bought it and is waiting for the audio. So a bunch of people are reading. Maybe we should see if Hunter will jump in.
Cronkite and Jennings. Is that who we are? What am I? Cronkite and he's Peter Jennings? That was a Gary comment.
Gary, I think you dated yourself on that one.
Yes, agreed, Doug. Don's list is really cool.
Yeah. If you have a list that you use, let us know, because let us know. So that would also be helpful.
Wilkie, you probably have all that source. I mean, I know Kyle has all that information. Send it.
Yeah.
Provide. I just like to do that. I'm going to do that every Monday or Tuesday. And I'll probably do book mail tomorrow.
Yeah. Yep. All right. What else do we got? So let's see. Upcoming for me, I've got KCSL tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern at Chat and Stats. I've got KT Hannah on November 25th. So if you want to avoid more family drama that week, you can join KT and I talking about the latest in library system reset.
Did you say on November 25th or December 25th?
November 25th.
Okay, November 25th. Okay.
Yep. And then the next time PopPop and I are going to be on is December 2nd. We will be.
Oh, by the way, I'm going for some sort of ultrasound that day to see if I have an aortic aneurysm. Only because I'm 64. And I guess the hospital or the doctor needs money from me.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a bomb to drop on us all.
It's non-invasive. It's just a test. So because you're 64, let's go do this. Okay, fine.
Yeah, fair. Okay.
Just because my dad.
All right, folks. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. Have a good one.
I guess I'm getting kicked out before
we are. It's hitting the hour. It's hitting the hour. We can let them go.
Goodbye.
We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Have a good night.
Bye.
Thanks for joining.
Bleh.